I never had the original like home. Uh, I had I had the minis, but I never got the original home.
It's because you could just get like the minis like $3 for $1. They're like,
Yeah.
please take them.
Dude, I probably had like 10.
Seriously, like giving them out to friends.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
stocking
exactly. Someone comes over for dinner, be like, "Thank you for coming."
More prizes.
All right, we are live. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Mike. Welcome to BenderTube. We get bite-sized tutorials and smart home tech reviews. Let you know you should get it or forget it. Today, I'm joined by Cliff Thomas. Cliff, why don't you let everybody know a little bit what you're about and where they can find you?
Okay, so I am a graphic designer by trade, but I'm a technology mobile enthusiast. I've been podcasting and I've written for several sites. As far as hobbies are concerned, maybe a little cash on the side. So yeah, I'm right now contributing to benefitofthedoubt.com. I think Adam, who's the proprietor of the site, the main talent, the talent on the site has broadcasted with you before, right?
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah,
I've been on a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
We've collabed on a video.
That's right. You guys, back when we were doing the Tech Beard, we did the Pokemon Go video with you. I remember that now.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and then more recently, we were both downtown Chicago when Sprint was still Sprint and had their mid-band 5G service.
Right. The LG.
No, that one was
was that
Samsung.
S10 5G.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, the long name on that thing.
Yeah, so you can find me through Benefit of the Doubt. I believe it's benefitofthedoubt.com. And then on social media, you can find me at Clifton M. Thomas, CLIFTON M THOMAS.
Yes.
It's kind of my handle about everywhere, so pretty consistent there.
Let me just put out a "We are live" tweet. Okay, so today was the much waited for Apple event, not the tease that we got last month, but the actual iPhone event. And starting off, was there anything that you, before the thing, were super excited for, before anything was announced?
Because of the leaks, I've been pretty excited about the new design language for the iPhones that we've seen that kind of brings in the iPad Pro and ethos to it. So you got those flat sides, almost like kind of harking back to the iPhone 5 kind of style with so yes, that was what I was excited for. I mean, there have been all the specs leaked. There wasn't too much to be excited about, and I think most of it tended to be true. But yeah, that's what I was most excited about, just to see kind of a refresh of the hardware again, and kind of move away from the iPhone 10 style that's been out for a while and all the different pieces. So
yeah, we've had 3 iterations of that.
Yep.
Hey, well, welcome. Thanks for watching Modern Day Tech. Thank you, Eric.
What about you?
So, there, my buddy here, Mike Benarchik, said right there, love the flat sides. The 5S was his favorite time. There's also his and I both our first iPhone was the 5S.
Was the 5S?
Which
nice.
With the flat sides, I think that was the peak iPhone. Just because they introduced the Touch ID, it got rid of that ugly little square in your home button.
Yes,
it was just like a much more sleek design.
It was. I mean, I love the 4 and the 4S, but I think because honestly, it went downhill so fast after that because you had the 6 design, which continued all the way really through the 8 and the 8 Plus, and it was just a big old surfboard of a phone. And I mean, it wasn't horrible, but yeah, really, it's nice to see some of those harder edge design, a little more designy feeling, if you want to call it that. Yeah. I wish they would give that design to the iPad Air and the iPad as well. I mean, it's just crying out for it.
Well, the iPad Air got it now.
Oh, that's right. They did. The newest ones did. And they have like 5 different colorways. It's the iPad Mini that's missing it.
Yeah, the iPad Mini and the standard iPad.
That's right.
But I mean that the regular iPad's probably not getting an update in design for like 6 more years.
Ridiculous. Well, I mean, if it's not broke, why change it? I think that's kind of how they look at it. But
I mean, to them, they're just like, we're going to keep putting in the same hardware we have laying around.
Right.
And
like
then we'll just
8.
upgrade a couple other things in between to keep that low price point.
Yeah, exactly. Which is still super competitive for what it is. Yeah. So why not? I mean, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, I guess, like you're saying. So
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Boom. Oh, it kicked me out.
I love your selection of images. Oh, there nice.
So, and I love that they started with this.
Yes.
They brought in the HomePod Mini and just like a beautiful looking thing. I'm honestly starting to think that maybe Amazon with the new Echoes that they put out, that they maybe got a little bit of a leak of what Apple was doing to like try to like match a little bit
with that sphere.
Yeah, because it's actually a pod now.
Yeah,
like it's right. It's not some cylinder with rounded edges. It's actual pod.
It's so funny how, I think Amazon with the original Echo sort of set the design style of the first generation of all these different smart speakers. Yeah. Even the ones that had like Cortana on them from like a Harman Kardon all looked really similar to the Echo. Yeah. And then Google started this soft finish, that like the cloth and knit stuff. Yeah. And then it's all kind of they're almost all like that now. Between the HomePod, I think the Echo,
they all are. They're all the fabric finish now.
Right, exactly. I dig it though. I mean, I think it really gets it away from being less gadgety to look and maybe something that, that if you're someone who really cares about the look of your home. Yeah. I mean, even with their the Wi-Fi stuff, it's like the mesh Wi-Fi. A lot of it has that same style, just fitting it as like just a piece in your home instead of being an appliance. But yeah, I love the look of the HomePod Mini, especially the Siri light effect on top. How cool is that?
Yeah, right there. Oh,
yeah.
I love that. That is such a nice little glow right there.
It is.
Like, it's subtle but so nice. It's not jarring at all.
It ties you back to the same animation that happens when you do the Siri voice activation.
Yeah.
On iOS. So that's very cool.
Yeah. And then now the only thing it is like, it's like a down firing kind of speaker now. So it's not going to be as good as the full size version, but you don't expect that anyway. That's why it's the Mini.
And this is the iPad. I'm sorry, good grief. The HomePod is still what, $299?
Yes, yeah. So standard price $299. Sometimes you can find it for $200 on sale.
Right, exactly. So I mean, you can have, one HomePod, or you can have 3 of those, and I think they automatically pair together. Hopefully, I'm not jumping the gun here. When you put them in a room together, which is pretty cool.
They said in the announcement today that if you put them in a room together, they'll automatically create a stereo system. So you get 2 of those for $200.
Right.
And you have a stereo system in your house that works with some new technology. Let me backtrack here. All right. Well, first, the new services that they announced, because not even when this comes out, when the software update comes out, you got that top row there. Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. That's all it works with as of right now, and until the software update gets pushed through. After that, you're getting 5 more options. Still no Spotify for some reason. They probably can't come to an agreement for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is, being competitors.
But you got those in there. So it opens up a little bit more. Now you got a cheaper price. You have more options of music services to listen to.
Super important. It's interesting that they couldn't. That if that's the issue with Spotify, that they can come to an agreement with Amazon, with Amazon Music, which is one of the ones listed.
They already came with the agreement with Amazon to get them on the Echoes.
That's right. forgot about that.
So I think
That's
it's just a two-way street.
Right
there.
Exactly. Kind of similar to what Google's been doing with them too.
Yeah.
Just in terms of finally cooperating with each other, which makes it better for everyone, especially if you have a mixed household of stuff.
And then all these in-house services that it works with, and it works per person. You can set it up per user. It knows you by voice, so it's not going to read your messages to your wife or whatever. It's all going to be the same. And then it's got the ultra wideband chip.
Right.
So as of right now with the HomePod, you have to physically touch it to the top, and it'll do a handoff. Now they're saying as soon as you get close, it'll hand that stuff off.
That is so nice.
Yeah. Just proximity. It's nice. And then it allows so much for automations in the future.
Right. And that really is the advantage of buying into one ecosystem, specifically Apple in this case, because everything just works together so well. And yeah, being able to hand it off like that, especially like you're saying, without being able to touch it, you've got those two. Say you've got those. You bought the two. You spent $200 on the two, so they're paired in stereo. You want to have your little parties that they always show on the advertisements that no one ever actually has right now because of what's going on in the world. But yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah,
and you just don't have to think about it. It's almost like a physical thing. You just walk over to it. You don't have to think about it, and it happens. Oh,
this one here they were talking about. It said you can sit there in your house, ask your HomePod for directions to. In this case, it was Target.
Huh.
It said it'll tell you the fastest route, and it automatically is going to send something to CarPlay. So when you get in your car and start it up, you're going to have your navigation to Target ready to go.
That's definitely the demo of the Apple shopper too. Just always Target.
Yeah. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish they had. The one thing I tell you I really miss about having the live versions of these versus the really polished videos that they just stream is the opportunity for fails. Like they would have when they were doing like the Siri demos, and they would have a phone call to a restaurant,
or Craig the first time they were showing off Face ID.
Yes,
and he grabbed the iPhone that didn't have his face registered. Well, supposedly,
right?
And he's like, "Look at it, it's like face not recognized. Face not recognized." He's like,
"That's funny."
See, there you go. I just had the
so there, you just don't have those opportunities for that kind of stuff anymore. It's just you can tell the people that make these videos had a really good time. Like this video really was just it, but it didn't feel. And I know we're still talking about the intros of the products, but like the video to me did not feel overly polished though. Like it didn't feel like an infomercial, which it's really easy to do with these. Like Apple's so good at feeling pretty genuine.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like just a better feel. It doesn't feel like they're necessarily trying to sell you everything.
Right. It's about the experience.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you had a chance to watch the Google one that was, I guess, last week or the week before, it didn't have near this level of like Appleness, whatever that means. But yeah.
Which in its own, that was still a decent presentation.
It was good.
It was definitely better than the Samsung one, like the Samsung Unpacked.
Set the bar so low. that was Galaxy S4 Unpacked levels of bad.
This is where it's saying like it works just like the large one. It works as your HomeKit hub.
Right.
Can work with all kinds of stuff. And then now they got like a new guided UI for if you're just setting it up, which I'm really glad they actually introduced that, because now that you have this more affordable device,
right,
it's going to open the door for a few more people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
having that guided thing with some suggestions, even now, if you have it set up, the HomeKit app, like if you get new devices, it suggests routines for you, automations that you think you could use with the different things you have in your house.
It's kind of nice to have some of that stuff on Rails.
Yeah.
I don't have any HomeKit set up. All of my stuff is done through Google Home and like Philips Hue. I have like the stuff I have is very basic as far as the smart home stuff is concerned. But yeah, Google Home automates a lot of that stuff for you too. So
most of mine is through the, Amazon's Assistant.
Here's what I found.
So, because it allows a little bit more a lot more flexibility than Google right now, just in terms of like just starting routines from devices doing something compared to, you know, having to set a date or a time or something.
Yeah, right. A little bit more of the if this then that. And
yeah, exactly.
Complexities. Yeah.
And then for whatever I can't do in there, I have a Smart Things hub.
Okay.
But so yeah, this to me, like with everything transitioning to smart home, this whole opening was like a gold mine to me. I was just like,
absolutely,
you're doing everything I want. Oh, intercoms, and then you can. Now they put that one up a little bit. Like if you says something to Amazon's Assistant, you can have that notification go out to anybody with the app on their phone too. That's not like an exclusive thing to Apple where it goes on all your devices and then the cell phones.
And I think you can do something similar with Google Assistant too.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling with Amazon or with Apple rather, it's just going to be that much more seamless if you have all the HomeKit enabled stuff.
Yeah, I mean with them, you're not going to have something running in the background or something. That's
correct.
Not it.
Yeah.
But
that's a very Apple looking home, like right. Like definitely,
yeah, right.
Got the Audi in the garage, and it kind of
there. Yeah, but yeah.
some electric bicycles.
Honestly, like if they'd let me live here, I would.
I totally would.
I don't need the other walls. I'll have it open the whole time. I don't care.
That's the trade-off.
But yeah, you could get. But yeah, HomePod Mini, $99. It's not a bad deal. And then it comes out. I think you can reserve it November 6th, and it comes out the 16th.
Yeah, I think that's right. So I think that was with all of their introductions, you could reserve it, and then everything was coming out a week later, regardless of what it was, as far as shipping or availability.
Yeah,
but yeah, gorgeous little device. I'm excited to see it in person.
And then I think now, like more what you're here for,
right?
Talking about the new iPhone 12, and then and all the variations of it.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so we got 4 new devices.
Right.
All different color, all with their different color options and storage options. But
with some decent storage options to start off with this time. Like Apple's finally, I remember it wasn't too long ago when you were still getting 16 gigabytes standard.
Yeah.
With the, oh God. That just seems silly, and it hasn't even been that long ago. Like that's like it's like 5 games.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. They still had those ridiculous options. The first thing off the bat was 5G is standard on all the devices.
Yay, I guess.
So, look, the main thing I'm excited for is that we have the Qualcomm chips back. So you're still going to have better LTE. Because I know most of America, especially on Verizon, you don't have any 5G service.
That is really, I mean, the fact that they, just as an aside today, I guess you could say they partnered with Verizon for some of these announcements, because Verizon also announced the launch or the availability of the 5G DSS, which I think is the low band, like the 600 megahertz.
That's their low band. Okay.
Right. I believe that's the low band, which basically goes on it works on the same frequencies as 4G LTE. So for companies like T-Mobile, that's actually like kind of their gap filler, because they have dedicated bands as well. But all Verizon's had up until now is the sub 6, which is is that right, or is it?
They have the millimeter wave.
Millimeter wave. Yeah. They're I understand the functionality, but sometimes I get it mixed up. But yeah, so millimeter wave is just so limited in functionality, and in where it is basically only in large markets like New York, Chicago, like you were at.
Which, if you want to talk about its availability in Chicago, it's if you're within eyesight of the like one at the train station and like 2 other places, it's it's really sad, honestly.
It's one of those things that I mean, once they actually get the infrastructure laid out, I mean, it definitely has the potential to be the new broadband for homes.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a long time. So I'm finally glad, as I'm actually a Verizon subscriber, having this go live and actually having a couple of Verizon 5G phones. I'm glad to see that this was part of this launch. Like, yay! So hopefully we'll start seeing that in the rural area where I live. I live in southwestern Virginia, in the foothills. So we may not see that for a while, but you guys should see that lit up if you have Verizon in Chicago there. You should start seeing that 5G logo. But yeah, so across the board 5G, that's really cool.
Yeah, which I mean, it already put some kind of a leg up on Samsung because not all their devices came with 5G.
That's true.
You had to buy the special version. Even Google, the 4A, now they have the 4A 5G.
Mm-hmm.
You had to buy a separate device. It's nice that you can get a device for, was it $699 for the Mini?
Starting at $699.
Yeah, $699,
$799 for the 12. For the standard 12, and then
$999 for the 12 Pro, and then $1099 for the 12 Pro Max.
Yeah, so I'm really happy. My wife has an iPhone 11, which I thought, when I got it for her last year, I just thought this is by far the most well-rounded iPhone that they've launched in some time. So it's nice to see them kind of split those models into two. Like yes, it went up $100 from the $699 that the 11 launched with, but now you've got a smaller option and then a screen size. I think it's actually a little larger than last year's 11, and it has a much high. I think it's like double the resolution of last year's 11.
It's the same size, 6.1 inch. But yeah, it's got the OLED screen with a higher resolution. It's got that Super Retina XDR display, just like all the other ones have.
Yeah, it was like 426, 430 PPI pixels per inch, and then I think the 11 was basically the equivalent of 720p, which is like, man.
Yeah, it was just slightly above. Yeah,
right, exactly.
Like that.
I'm digging that blue colorway too.
Yeah,
that's so nice.
So what's funny about that is right now they have 3 different blues out with their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know 4 if you go with what's they got available for the 11. But right now, like their new stuff, they got the blue, the Pacific blue for the Pro, and then for whatever reason on the Apple Watch, they have Atlantic blue,
which is a little more green, isn't it? Like more of a green blue.
It's like a brighter blue,
right? Yeah,
it's brighter than this. So it's nothing quite matches up this year, which is weird for them.
That is a little strange. That's true. The Pro colors are definitely kind of like last year, all more muted.
Yeah,
I guess you could call that more professional, but it could have to do with the materials too, and what they can actually make work on it versus the anodized aluminum of the 12 and the 12 Mini.
Here's all the colors for the
For the 12. That's the 12, right?
This is the 12 lineup. They kept from this year. They kind of just kept the 4 working left to right.
Yeah,
and then changed on the right.
Yeah, the green. My wife has the green 11. It's just little different. It's not quite as minty as it was last year.
Yeah, that's the one my girlfriend currently has too. Is the green,
which I like. But yeah, I thought their choices of colors were really good. As a graphic designer, I'll tell you that the thing that I pay attention to is, at least I used to have to, was because I designed for like home textiles and things like that, and so I was always having to stay up on trendy colors or what colors were on trend. And actually, this blue that they have right here is really close to Pantone's 2020 color of the year. And it's interesting that they put it's a little bit different than the one that's on the Pro, but yeah, they're very much like right on trend with what is really popular. So I guess I wasn't surprised, but I especially love the iPhone Pro, I think, which is the Pacific blue.
Yeah, that's the Pacific blue. That's the A14. Before we get to that, though, let's talk about the Magsafe. Bringing back Magsafe in a different form factor here.
I just feel like they're trolling all of the MacBook users that want it back.
Wow. I mean, look, it's better than what Microsoft does to just make you forget the names of things.
It's true. It's true.
How many times you remember what the original Surface was?
It was just are you talking about the charger or the?
No, the original Microsoft Surface was a coffee table with a
that's
with
true.
an integrated screen.
Yeah,
Try to make you forget that.
That's right. They just kept the name and moved it over to the line of.
They changed
tablet.
Microsoft Groove.
Mm-hmm.
Groove was originally an Office application, then they made it their music service, and then they ditched that even.
Yeah, it's that, and then before that, before that they had what was their music service? It was the same as their media players. It was Zune Music. Yeah. Oh, pour one out for all of that.
Man, I miss Zune. That was actually a few years ahead of its time.
It was. I had the Zune HD. It was pretty sweet. Yeah, the MagSafe, man. Very interesting. Yeah. So many different colors and accessories, and it's open to third parties, right?
Yes, that's the good part right there. It's open to third parties, so you'll see it on Amazon. You'll be able to buy it, and then you'll be able to go back in 2 weeks and buy something else from them instead of it actually being removed.
So, is it still the thing that I couldn't figure out? Is it still based on Qi?
So yeah, it's a Qi charger. Straight out, you could use any Qi accessory still on your phone.
Okay.
And with the exception of this wallet accessory, because there's gonna be a card in between.
Right. And then it's got
you can wirelessly charge in between any of those.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the only thing it's a Qi charger with a magnetic ring around it, and then they have all their little different accessories and chargers with that. I'm kind of interested to see if it actually helps with current regular Qi charging though. Like, is it going to help line it up there normally, or is it just not going to matter?
That is the problem, especially if you go between different phones. Like, let's just say you have Android phones and you have iPhones, and they all have, like, I don't know if you ever had a chance to use the Razer Phone 2.
No.
Its coils were placed way down on the bottom. So if you had just like your standard, like little puck, your phone would just fall off of it because it was you'd have so much of the edge of it topped off. So yeah, having that magnetic part there so it can just click on if you're using Apple accessories, it's going to be really nice. You don't have to deal with trying to line it up.
Mike wishes they didn't keep the back glass. It's just another thing to break and it's difficult, expensive to fix. That's still, for the most part, the standard, though. The only one who's done anything different right now is, I think, Google with the new Pixels. They got that weird aluminum that we still don't really know what it is.
Right. Well, so that's the first metal phone we've seen in a long time with like the little hole in it so they can actually access the coils and the Qi charging. Well, some phones have gone back to polycarbonate though, which is kind of nice. I really miss nicely done polycarbonate phones, and I'm actually surprised that like the 12 isn't. I think once you have a glass on the back of a phone, you sort of get used to that feeling like premium, but it also, like he was saying, it breaks so easily.
Yeah.
So, I really like that Samsung has done the polycarbonate, the plastic. It's just a fancy name for plastic. Back on the fan edition of the Galaxy S20, and what Google has done with the 4A and the 4A 5G. But I guess it's just such a shame to have a beautiful phone like Apple makes, and then you have to put a case on it because you're afraid you're going to break it with just falling out of your pocket when you get out of the car.
I mean, I've always been kind of the guy, like, I have the case before I have the phone, so
right.
I've never really concerned myself with that, but I think it's going to take a little bit for Apple to go back to a plastic case because it left a real bad taste after the 5C.
They did.
They haven't done it since.
It was so bad just because it scratched so easily, and then I don't know if you remember how easily the 3G scratched from the iPhone. Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, it's in my closet.
If you ever see, if you've got a used iPhone 3G, it just looks like you rubbed it on a piece of sandpaper. If you used a case on it, it probably is. But yeah. So
I didn't personally have one because at
you
some point a couple of years ago,
right?
Yeah. a couple of years ago, someone just randomly left one at work. Like a customer came in and just left it there.
Like, hello, beautiful.
Never came back for it. So I was like, all right, I guess I got like a piece of history here. I don't know.
Yeah, if I could ever, do you ever just want to, I don't know, this is how much of a phone nerd I am, but I sometimes just hold on to phones as like a collector's item. Like, I would love to have an original iPhone for that reason. Just, even though it really, in fact, I don't think it's going to work on anything anymore because everyone's gone away from Edge and and 2G. So I don't even know if you'll be able to get voice service. I don't think you will.
Yeah.
But just to have it is just kind of cool. And the 3G is kind of the same thing. I mean, it's one of the OGs.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Magsafe is really cool. I hope I'll be interested to see what third parties come up with, and I'll especially be interested to see what pop socket does. We're gonna have like a magnetic pop socket that just sticks on there.
Yep. Like, I think they just did something like that.
Huh.
They did something like that. I think it was with a case or something. But they made magnetic ones so you could like just take it off for when you put it on the car charger.
Mm-hmm.
So I guarantee with them having third-party accessories, like that's going to be a go-to thing. You can just throw the pop socket on.
Right, exactly. Because that's the problem right now is unless you buy one that's integrated into a case that also works with Qi, you couldn't use wireless charging, which was one of the benefits of having the 8 Series Plus.
Yeah. And that's why I have never like opted to use one of them ever. Like,
right.
Lose major functionality out of my phone that I paid for. I don't want to do that.
Absolutely. No.
But yeah. Anyway, but Arctic. First off, there's this one. It said the Magsafe is more accurate the alignment due to one of the parts. Well, yeah, it's the magnetic ring around it. It's more accurate. It could get you. They updated the Qi charging on their devices to 15 watts maximum. And if you get it lined up with a compatible charger with that magnetic ring, you're guaranteed to get the 15 watts. As where if it was off before, you get a bunch of heat and maybe like 1 or 2 watts.
15 watts is pretty darn good, which is, if you think about the fact that the iPhone 11 and I'm sure the SE, I'm not sure about the 11 Pro.
The 11 Pro came with the 18-watt charger.
Okay, so the 11 came with still came with a 5-watt. It was just like, really, Apple, really. So yeah, having the wireless charging as an accessory is going to be really nice because that's 15 watts are pretty much the standard now, 10 or 15.
Mike, it's not that glass is needed for the wireless charging, it's that it can't be metal. So their option was glass or plastic.
Right.
That's why they went with it. And then, like we said, the Pixels, they did something weird with aluminum, but I think thinking back, it might just be they made a cutout.
Yes.
Yeah. And
they drilled a little hole in it, is what not drill, but there's a little hole in it that makes it work with the wireless charging. Yeah.
Let's see that. Somehow. So yeah, if you don't line that one up perfectly, you're not getting anything really.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The magnetic, the metal plating is going to ruin it. And then while we're on the subject of charging,
yes,
let's talk about their new. I don't think I have a picture for it. We'll just leave it on this. So now in the box, regardless of which one you get, there's no charger.
Just cable.
Yeah, just the cable. There's no ear pods, no charging brick. And up until today, I was totally for this. There's one reason I'm not for this. They decided to change it to USB-C this year. So, like that whole you have 1,000 charging bricks idea is out the window for anybody that owns an iPhone.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like,
it's like,
guys, it made total sense until you got there. And what's funny is we've been pushing for USB-C adoption for iPhones forever, and of course they still didn't do it. So instead of doing the thing that we wanted, which was to get rid, at least what I wanted, which was to get rid of Lightning, and go with maybe USB-A to USB-C or even USB-C to USB-C, they still kept the Lightning, but they basically made all of your older chargers, including I guess the ones that you had to buy, like the 18-watt charger for last year's Pro or the third party.
That came with the Pro last year,
right? But
anybody that has a Pro last year, they're the only people that are good to go. Or if you had like an iPad Pro,
right,
or an iPad Air, the new one.
A few things that actually have USB-C and Apple.
Yeah,
it's so weird how everything is, because you would think, I mean, I know that they have to pay a licensing fee for USB-C, like, but you think just for economies of scale, wouldn't it be cheaper just to go all USB-C and just make everything the same? I don't know. I mean, Tim Cook is the captain of sourcing materials and costing and making everything profitable for Apple. And I'm not an inside guy, but it just makes sense to me that if you make everything the same and just kind of move everything forward, it makes your customers happier. It's kind of like when they switched from the 25 pin to Lightning. You just kind of cut the cord and make everybody switch. Instead, you've got this mixed ecosystem of things that's just, if you're somebody who has like an iPad Pro and then you've still got an iPhone that obviously doesn't use USB-C, you've got to have two different cables. And that's annoying.
Look, there is still one thing that I need them to fix, and I know it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Get the frickin' Lightning port out of the bottom of the Magic Mouse.
Oh, God. I can't believe that still exists.
Like, they came out with new ones. They're like, we have new colors and stuff, and the thing's still in the same spot.
It looks so stupid when you're charging. It's all upside down. You're like, why?
It's amazing to me that you could buy a $50,000 Mac Pro and still have a mouse that sucks.
Yes. Well, Apple has a history of making sucky mice. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to use the Puck mouse from the original iMac.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, my God. Because, it's not wireless. So it would get because it's round, it would get disoriented. So you'd walk up and you think you're going up left, and it would be going left to right if you're trying to go up and down. It was just terrible. And the weight was kind of the same. It was definitely a form over function design. And I don't know what they were thinking with the Lightning charger on the newest Magic Mouse. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I don't know. They just put people in a bad spot. Like Mike said, the thing everybody was kind of thinking was like, they'll give you some kind of discount or option at checkout, like to take off the sting a little bit. But as far as we know, as of right now, and after this keynote, they didn't say they were doing anything for anyone.
No,
they just boasted about how this is going to save taking off like 475,000 trucks off the streets.
Right, because they were able to make the packaging smaller. Yes. And so they could fit more on a pallet, which I mean, yeah, great. That's awesome. I mean, and the fact that I don't remember the statistics, but they quoted it was made of higher percentage of recycled materials, including the precious metals that are used for like the silicon board.
I think it's all 100% recycled,
which is
silicon
awesome.
Now.
Yeah. But I just. Yeah, again, going back to that decision to make the charging cable USB-C, you kind of hope that you're living in one of those like mixed households where or someone that's got an Android phone with a more recent Android phone with USB-C. Because otherwise, you're going to be plugging it into your like trickle charging from your MacBook if you have one.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I'm a tech reviewer. I'm kind of in the small area here, but. I have charging hubs in different places, so I made sure I got like higher charging with 2 USB-C ports. So that way if someone wants to charge a laptop, they could charge their Android device, whatever. And then you got
I tell you, top tip from me, and I'm sure you'll probably have some version of this going on yourself. But if you're going to spend money right now, get yourself like a 100 watt or even a 60 watt GAN, I guess there's a GAN charger. Most like Ultrabooks and and like workstation laptops will charge off of 60 watts. So you get that with a USB-C output. So if you travel at all, which I know a lot of us aren't right now because of what's going on, but you can have one charging brick for pretty much everything, and that's really nice, especially if you buy one of the ones that has multiple outputs. And you can buy some that also have an integrated battery as well. But yeah, just $29 from like we said, Amazon or something like that. It's one of those things that once you have it, it's pretty game changing. It's nice.
Yeah. Actually, I can do you guys one better. I can
Nice.
pull one up. All right. And it's Prime Day, so you guys
Prime
get
Day.
discounts. So Anchor.
Yes. I actually have an Anchor 60 watt. That's really
ED. They have one on sale today that I know of, at least. There's the Prime Day deal. Now this one's just a little 18 watt charger. This one is like only for your phone.
But it's teeny tiny.
Yeah, and it's $13.99. If you want it in black, it's $19.99. But
that'd be perfect.
$13.99. That's probably cheaper than the one you're going to get from Apple. And it charges just as fast, and it's going to be smaller.
Yep, absolutely.
18 watt charger is a bit bulkier.
Yeah, hopefully that gets integrated. That charging technology gets integrated into one of the first party ones.
Here we go, a 60 watt one.
Yes.
It's got a little coupon code, so you can save extra.
Holy crap, 40%.
Jesus Christ. Hold on, wait. Forget the other one. Forget the other one.
Like 30. It's gonna be like $30.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do you guys a favor here. I'm gonna drop that link.
Yes.
Right in the chat for you. Especially you, Mike Benarchik. I know you're gonna need one. So right there.
Boom.
40% off after at checkout of this $50 device. And it gets 60 watts, 2 ports. That means it's going to charge your laptop and then it's going to charge your phone.
Yep.
Now keep in mind that's 60 watts total.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're charging both at the same time, your laptop's not getting 60 watts. It's going to get 42 because your phone's going to take 18.
Yeah. And you may get that little, that may be enough actually. Like if you've got the MacBook, one of the ultra low voltage processors from Intel or the like, that's probably enough to actually do like a full charge. But yeah, if you've got like a MacBook Pro or if you've got one of the something the equivalent of that, like a Dell XPS Pro or something, it might not charge it fully. But yeah, so you might get that little warning, that little flag message that says this is not an official charger or whatnot. But yeah, it's still really nice to have it. Hell, 40% off. That's crazy good.
Yeah. Plus, you can fast charge your iPhone to 50% in 30 minutes. So
yes,
as long as you got enough on your laptop to get you through 30 minutes, you're fine. Good. All right. Let's talk about this one real quick. Where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
So they got part of their first party things. They now have this little, I'm going to call it the magic charger. I don't know what they actually call it.
I forget.
But it's with their new Magsafe technology. So you put your phone on one side and it charges. And then you put your Apple Watch on the other side and it will charge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want to know what connection that one has?
It looks like lightning.
Nope, USB-C.
Is it USB-C? Damn it. I hope
because you can't get enough charge through on lightning to do both at the same time.
That's
so it's
right.
USB-C. But I like this one because you can. I got to find the picture of it. But
I like how it folds up. Yeah.
Yeah, you can fold it up. I got it. Look at that. Look at that. Just folds up.
So nice.
Put it in your bag, your purse, whatever. It's with you.
Yes.
Like that is the travel charger to end half the travel chargers.
And that's also going to, I guess, charge your AirPods if you have the Qi charging AirPods.
Yeah. Yes, it'll charge
it. So it's basically everything except your laptop.
Yeah.
Well, I guess your iPad, depending on what you can. But anyway, yeah, very nice. It's funny. It's like I kind of, when I saw that, I thought, okay, so I don't remember what it was called, but they had the huge the Qi charging pad, which had their own
air power.
The air power, yeah. So that was basically vaporware. It never came out, and supposedly there were engineering issues with it, heat issues, and I've kind of wondered if that's what that air power turned into this. I'm wondering. I don't know that at all.
See, now so it's funny. Apple never got that working.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of Nomad Goods before,
Yes.
but they got a version of it working.
I saw you were looking for a few review cases.
Yeah, trying.
Nope. Nomad makes really nice stuff. I had a Nomad case from my original Pixel. It was great.
I have one of their
Chicago leather.
Yeah.
Horween.
It's like Horween leather. Yeah,
Yep.
it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's move on to. Let's see. Is this?
But yeah, they make a something that's like AirPower, right?
Yeah. They have their Base Station Pro. Oh
Okay.
yeah, this I didn't see on the website anymore, but I like this sleeve.
Yes.
It's a sleeve though. I didn't understand that entirely. Like it's not a case. You slide your phone into it.
You know, I had a sleeve from Dodo case like that for my original first generation Moto X. I really liked it.
Okay.
Because it gets rid of the bulk when you don't want it, but you still have that protective, and it just kind of slides into your pocket like a case would. And if you're not used to it, just sliding a phone in and out of the sleeve is kind of weird at first, but I got used to it. It was just kind of like carrying a wallet around and taking your phone out instead of your card. Like,
okay, I can get that.
Yep. But it has that little extra screen that shows you notifications, right? That was the hole cut out.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll show you the timer, like little notifications that pop up.
That's a first for Apple. I've never seen them do anything like that with a case. So that was interesting. Oh, baby. Pacific Blue.
Yes. I just did the wrong thing. Yes, it did.
Oh, no worries.
All right. Yes, the last one that came up, the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max. So everything that you're getting in the, I'm sorry, I said 11, 12, yeah. 12 Pro, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max. Everything you're getting in the 12, you're getting in here with the addition of another lens and LiDAR. And then you also got some improvements in other places.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the same MagSafe, like we said.
Less bezels compared to the previous generation. Compared to the
smaller bezels.
A little bit larger screen.
So yeah, so they went from 5.8 with the current Pro to 6.1, which is the same size as the 11 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like that because honestly, I'm a little bit jealous of the size of the 11. Like, it just feels so perfect. Like I feel like this is a little too small, but then the Max is a little too big.
Right.
Like this is just like perfect.
Honestly, like anything that's around the size of the original X, and then obviously going up from there with the 11, and now what this size is going to be, I feel like in that that's like the sweet spot. Yeah. Like anything around that, it's not a surfboard, but it's not like the 5. It's a decent sized screen, and yeah. So I'm happy to see them squeeze it into basically the same footprint. That little bit larger screen. Same with the Pro or the Pro Max, right?
The Pro Max, they up the size. It's now 6.7 instead of 6.5.
Right. Largest
for people that like larger screens. I'm sure you're happy. I'm not. I don't want a bigger phone. And what they've done this year that I don't like, well, there's the price, but they went back to the Plus model of doing things. If you get the bigger phone, you get the better camera system.
Right.
And I don't like that.
I don't either. And
I feel like I'm missing out now by not wanting to have a larger device.
It makes me wonder what the decision was. Was it just the camera module having that extra little bit there because the difference I think was that it has sensor level image stabilization, so it's not only on the glass, but it
also has larger sensors.
Right. Something
like I can't remember. It was 47. I think 47%. I think that's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a huge increase.
It is. So you got to wonder, is it just the increase in the size of the module, and they just didn't want to have a super wobbly phone, or was it a case of maybe the people weren't migrating to the more expensive phone as much? Like you just kind of wonder what the decisions are with that. Yeah. As much as I would probably buy the Pro Max just because I personally do like having the larger screen, but I definitely would want that extra image stabilization and larger sensors. But why didn't they do 120 hertz like they've been rumored to do all since last year?
So
that to me was the most glaring.
From what I've heard,
mm-hmm.
the idea behind this was one, a marketing standpoint of what you could more easily push towards your consumers and to be happy about it. And it's between 5G or 120 hertz, because both of them suck the crap out of your battery.
Mm-hmm.
So if they put them together, it wouldn't give you the iPhone experience that you're supposed to get.
Right. It definitely does.
So they had to pick one, and supposedly they said it was from a marketing standpoint, but if I remember correctly, the deal that every developer has with Qualcomm right now was that in the US market, you have to have 5G if you're using their chips.
I knew that was true with the 865 from the Snapdragon 865. Like you couldn't have a separate radio or like a radio board that didn't have the 5G. I think they've actually done that in China with one device. But yeah, so I don't know. It is interesting that they bought Intel and then they're still using Qualcomm stuff. I guess they're just not quite ready to make their own 5G
because
radios yet.
When they bought Intel, they weren't ready with anything yet. So it's a matter of time.
I am curious to know because the rumors of 120 hertz were still until recently. I mean, they were saying it was going to have it. So I'm wondering if the panels actually have it and it's just not enabled in the software.
Yeah. The rumors have been everywhere. It's been from like where they weren't able to manufacture enough of like the controller and this and that to get the adaptive refresh rate.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, we don't have it. But
right, exactly. I just, when you're comparing specs, and honestly, I don't know how much. I think Android users cross shop a lot more with the iPhone than vice versa. So I don't even know that they care. But I mean, I will say, and if you use a phone that's even got a 90 hertz display, and then you go back to 60 hertz, let alone 120, like man, what a difference. Or actually, they would know if you've used an iPad Pro. Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, it's what a difference. So I'm very like that might actually like I've really been considering buying one of the whether it's the 12 or the 12 Pro, I don't know, but I was really considering buying one of them, and I'm like, I'll wait till next year, if assuming that they get it, because that to me that's like the one like real big ding against these devices.
Yeah,
obviously I don't want crappy battery life, so that's the other side of it. But
I'm not really like hurt too much, but I have an iPad Pro. I do like my 120 hertz, but it's not like killing me.
Yep.
Like I said before, what's killing me right now is the difference in the camera, because it's going to be a difference of $100 for me, and it's like I don't know which one I'm going to go with, Pro or the Pro Max,
right? Because
I like the size on the Pro. I hate the size on the Max, but I want the better cameras.
Yeah, it's like what can you really live with? I mean, it really is a.
I mean, that's almost an iPad Mini right there.
Yeah, it really is, because that's what, 7 inches.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's 7 and 9.7, and then 10.1, and then 11, and then.
That's getting close to not being pocketable.
You just gotta.
You
need to invest in some Jinkos, my friend.
Well, you get a time machine?
You might be able to find them. Maybe they're like a vintage jeans store. Maybe you can just buy some painter's pants or some cargo pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the skinny jean crowd. That's for sure.
Yeah. There we go. Let's see. What else? So that is, I think that's kind of bringing us to the end here. We've talked about everything that came out, all the things kind of like and don't like, and then like here's the final breakdown. Unlike what they've done the last couple of years, they are keeping around the older phones. because when they went from the 10 to the 10s, they got rid of the 10. When they got, I just noticed they have the 10R.
Yeah, that I thought was really strange.
Didn't they get rid of the 10R last year with the 11?
No, the 10R was still there, I think.
Okay,
but why is the? Oh, I see. They've got the Mini just included in with as like
the Mini and the Max are included with their respective group.
Which did we talk about the Mini?
No, oh no, my God, we didn't. We skipped over. Okay, hold on, let me find that. Yeah, we did. We didn't talk about the Mini. We glossed over it. There's something about it. So this is going to have all the same stuff that the 12 has.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is the screen size. They took I think it's the same size as like an SE.
It's 5.4 inches as far as the screen size is concerned.
I'm saying in terms of device size, though, it's like the same size as S. Yeah,
it's actually. It looks like it's it's basically the same. Yeah.
They said basically they took what was a 4.7-inch screen and gave it the updated look, so it's a 5.4-inch screen.
Right. That's just crazy to me. Being the relatively long time smartphone user, like I remember I had the original. Oh gosh, it was an HTC. The HTC Evo 4G, which was a 4.3-inch screen, and I think it was probably bigger than this phone. Yeah. Bigger than the Mini, like as far as the chassis size is concerned. Like it's awesome that
I had the original Droid, and I think it was bigger than this phone.
Yeah,
with a smaller screen.
Yeah, because they're able to maximize that as much the screen to make it almost bezel-less. Just you can get so much more. I mean, and honestly, I really hope that as an aside, like the Mini starts a trend maybe towards smaller devices as an option again.
As long as we don't get down to that one where it was like it fit in the change pocket of your jeans from Singular.
The Zoolander phone.
But like it was a real phone though. It was so small that it would fit in that change thing. It was from Singular Wireless.
I don't remember that. I do remember that. I mean, even more recently, we've had the Jelly 1 and the Jelly 2. And there's some other phones out there that are, almost like flip phone size with like a 2.7-inch screen. I don't want to go to that size. I want to have something that's usable. Yeah. I think the SE was kind of the SE second generation was kind of that first start with them going back to an affordable device. But now it's not so much about the affordability as it is just having that more accessible screen size for people with smaller hands. And so, I enjoy sometimes carrying a smaller device. I don't know. It's funny. Like that you have that. That's why I think you're right. That like the Pro and then like the 11/12 is really just like the perfect size phone. Yeah.
It's perfect. Like, for an adult with normal size hands, that's like a perfect device. And you start getting like too big, slightly too small.
I don't understand why the XR is still around though. Who is that for?
As I would say, get an 11 over that.
Yeah.
Hold on, what was the price difference?
$590 was $499 for the XR and they lowered it to $599 for the 11.
Okay, stop doing the same thing over. There we go.
And maybe that's not necessarily for the U.S. like North American market. Maybe that's for India and China and some of the as far as why they kept it around. Yeah. Where you have something at that lower price point that's bigger than the SE. Just a thought, but I don't know.
I mean, it's like you got older processor, one camera. Right.
I would rather have the SE. It's got a faster processor.
Yeah.
And a better camera. No, actually, it's got the same camera.
It's got the same camera. Yeah, it's got the same exact camera between the two. But it's got a newer processor, just a smaller size.
You're like, hey, do you like things that are worse? Here's this phone.
Yeah, like straight. Man, honestly, I would say don't get the 10R. If you're swaying one way or the other, either go SE or 11. Don't.
11, yeah. Don't. 11's still a really nice phone. It really is.
I mean, because those two have the same processor,
Right.
and for a difference of $200 between the SE and the 11, you have a better camera system. You got kind of same on par display, but then you got
Right.
But then you do have the Face ID.
Right. See, the SE is actually, it's a wonderful phone, specifically for people like my in-laws, because they just upgraded from I think they had a 6 Plus. So, you know, obviously battery cycles are down to where they just didn't have much battery life left, and it was feeling a little slow. So this is for people who really can't get used to that gesture system and still want the faster processor, but want Touch ID. Like, that makes sense. The XR doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, pretty solid lineup though of phones. They really have everything. I mean, $400 all the way up to $1,100. That is probably their most comprehensive phone lineup they've ever had, I think. Yeah. Even though we don't really think the XR should exist anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if they do it like what they've occasionally done in the past, where they're like, and we're updating the processor on this one while lowering the cost. Because they've done that a couple times.
Which I had no problem with, but it's just...
It honestly made me mad at one point. I remember that.
Why, because you just bought it? Did you have that experience?
No, I usually get it more towards when it comes out, but I was just kind of like, it wasn't the year that I was going to upgrade at that point. So I wasn't really doing reviews yet, so I was like, I was a 2-year guy, and I was like, so you're telling me if someone walks into the store right now, they pay less and they get a better phone than I have? Like, no.
That's the tech enthusiast refrain, or what I forget what that's called, but yeah, the problem, the issue we all have. It's just that envy of the upgrade. That's, even if it's only a year later, you're still just like, damn it, Apple. Hope I didn't just demonetize you there.
No, you're okay. I think
all right.
Damn it's are okay. It's F-bombs that they don't like.
Right.
Anyway. All right. So I think that kind of brings us towards the end here. Big lineup coming out. Comprehensive. You got all those phones, the Magsafe accessories, and the HomePod Mini. And honestly, my wallet's not ready. I don't know about you. Like, I don't see this happening. Plus, I got to get all these Echo products still and all that too. So it's like, man, Christmas. Plus PS5 and the new Xbox.
There is that, and those are kind of hard to get in the.
Oh yeah, they can't even get those. So
I don't even try to get a GTX 3090 or whatever they are, 3080. As far if you're a PC gamer.
Have you heard about the MSI problem?
No.
Oh, so MSI being an international company, they have a bunch of like subsidiaries for different countries. One of them in America is called like Starlight or something, and mainly they deal with refurbs and like the rebates. If you get a rebate for your thing, you have to go through them to get your rebate. Well, for whatever reason, and MSI has gone on the record, confirmed that this happened, and had to did not apologize, just said they'll fix it.
Well,
they were able to get their hands on new product, the 3090s, 3080s, 3090s, and they were selling them on eBay for 3 times as much.
I did hear about this, but I didn't realize it was an MSI owned company. Yeah, I did hear about this.
Yeah, there was. We thought it was originally, everyone thought it was like someone posing as them, but they actually found out it's
scalping.
It was their own company scalping their cards.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, now that I get that angle to it, that's even worse.
That's like pretty bad. Like, they're like, okay, anybody that's purchased one of these, you have the option to either get a full refund, or we will give you the difference between what you paid and MSRP. Which obviously anybody that's smart at all is going to take the difference between the MSRP.
Well, honestly, the other thing is, who is that desperate that they were paying 3 times the retail price for those. I mean, because they're already so expensive. Like, I guess there's some ballers out there that just have to have the latest graphics.
I mean, I don't know if they thought maybe they could sell it for more,
right?
But yeah, no. As soon as you like buying the card at cost is already high enough for me.
Right.
Paying that much extra, no.
Maybe they're just Bitcoin boys trying to get the latest to farm with.
Right. I mean, I guess if it could yield that much of an increase, maybe it's worth it. But
I don't know. That's
for
funny.
My purposes, no.
Yeah, Apple don't do that.
It's not going to make me enough money on the internet to justify.
But I have to sleep at night, so there's that.
Sure. There you go. You want to hear all night?
Staring up at the ceiling.
All right, man. I will let you go. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to everyone that's been watching. Appreciate you guys coming through. Guys, take care, and of course, we'll see you in the next one. Cliff, just before we go, why don't you one more time tell them what you're about, where they can find you.
So, I am technically the co-producer to Benefit of the Doubt with Adam Dowd. It's a podcast that covers tech news, and we do some reviews. I'm mostly focused on mobile technology, I would say, but also smart home stuff. And I'm also a graphic designer by trade. That's my normal day job. So if you need a logo or something, you can find me on Twitter at Clifton M. Thomas, CLIFTON THOMAS. And I'm pretty active on Twitter. So thank you very much for having me on, man. It was awesome.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you. There we go.
There we go. Nice.
There you go, buddy. So that's where you can find him, over on Twitter. And once again, thank you for everyone that joined us today. Have a good rest of your night. And let me know on Twitter what iPhone, if any, you're trying to get and what you're most excited for. Take care.